Today is going to be Ghibli piano music because I'm in a relaxed mood. By which I mean I'm kind of tired. And let me send out the tweet. All right. So let me see what I am going to do today. I was kind of planning to do some more like JavaScript-y functional stuff on this app I've been working on, this data visualization about the Office, because I haven't really hooked up any of the interactivity yet. But as I mentioned, I'm kind of tired. And interactivity takes brain power, so maybe I'll start out with something a little easier and kind of like work my way up and see if I get there. Let me get the project up and running, hopefully. All right, we're here. So between now and last time, I did make a change to this project. Hey, how's it going, Matthias? Yeah, the new Java is very good. It's it's definitely an adjustment. It's like I'm so tired now because like, you know, things are so busy in a newsroom, and I'm coming right off of 3 weeks of vacation, so I'm still like half my brain is still in vacation mode, but the newsroom does not slow down, so it's definitely fun. I'm enjoying it. It's like, you know, getting up and running, making charts, you know, getting used to everything, like how they publish stuff there. But yeah, it's really good. Really good, but I'm very tired at the end of the day. So today I was like, how am I going to stream today? I'm so tired. But I think I have some sort of chill stuff that I can do. So I'll focus on that for today and see how far I get. I guess the first thing I can do is kind of go through this. I made some changes to this post-it component that we have that's wrapping this. And I don't know why my Figma file isn't loading. Try to reload this. There we go. This is the design we're building, by the way. So anybody is unfamiliar, drop any questions in the chat, but this is sort of what we're going for, and things evolve along the way. But what I did last time was basically make these post-it components and then get a YouTube video embedded and running. So this is working now, which is kind of nice. But I wasn't happy with the way the post-its looked last time, so I did some editing on the side to make them work. Now I'm a lot happier with them. So the way I ended up solving that was basically that instead of using, like, there's this trick you can use with borders to get these sort of like inset triangles, and that's what I was doing, but I was having trouble cutting off the end of the corner here. So I ended up just using a clip path, which is, as far as I can tell, I think it's actually recently that they added support for clip paths to like Chrome maybe, or Safari, or one of the browsers got support for these. So like I tested this in Firefox and in Safari and Chrome, and it works. So I'm going to go ahead and say using clip path is fine. And it makes it really nice because you can just go to this website, like there's this clip path maker, and you can just go here and, like, you know, cut out the shape however you want, and it'll give you the code for it, which is really nice. So like all that I did was go here and I did this. I did something like this, and then I just copied this code, so it just cuts out a little piece of the corner. And then I use that same border trick to do the inset triangle. But yeah, these are all responsive. I decided to go ahead and make the post-its expand to fit the content. I honestly don't know if that's the best way to handle it, and I don't know if that's how I'll do it in the future, but originally I had them always as a fixed square, but then it looked kind of weird when there was a scroll bar, because obviously some of the content is going to go like outside the box, and so when there's a scroll bar it looked weird. So I ended up just letting it expand. We'll see how it works. And then I got inspired by my CSS adventures to try my hand at making a Windows 95 window in CSS, and I think I was pretty successful. So this is how it turned out. I don't have it in the Svelte project yet, so that's going to be what I'm going to start with today. But yeah, any questions about the post-it, go ahead and ask them. I am just going to go ahead and plow forward and start making a new component that I'm going to call... is it bad to call something window.svelte? I don't know. What do I want to call it? Like window wrapper.svelte? I don't know. So this is going to be basically the same as our post-it component. It's going to be just a bunch of HTML and CSS. So what I'm going to do maybe is just copy the HTML from here, put it into here, and then this window inner is the innermost wrapper. So inside of here you put the slot, which is the Svelte syntax, and then I will put a style tag down here. And I don't want the body. I don't need that here. So let me see how to test this. I guess I should go back to here. And then I'm going to put this around the histogram. I can put this around the YouTube as well. I'm going to try this, see if this works. Well, seems to work. There is a kind of a weird thing here where there's some dead space. I think I might need to change that up. Yeah, Matthias says, how did you implement the top right icons on the window? Very good question. I should actually go over this a little bit. So I wanted to kind of just see if this will work. And now that I know it's working, maybe I can go through the CSS a little bit and try to explain it. So the way that this works, maybe we'll go from like inside out. So there's this this inner window, which is this gray. It's basically this gray background part, and that part is pretty simple. It's just a like simple CSS box. There's nothing fancy about it. With a background, position relative, some padding on the inside, so it has 10 pixels to give that little padding on the side. And then above that is the like top bar, I called it very inventively. I guess it should be called like menu bar or something. And within that bar, there's this little title, which I have right here. Let's turn on the music a little bit. So there's a little title within the menu bar, and then there's those 3 boxes on the side. And so each of those boxes is just a div, and I can show you how I did those. So yeah, the top bar is also relative position, that's important, and 100% width with a fixed height. And then the buttons, let's go over the buttons. So because the parent of those is relative position, we just make the buttons absolute and then put them over on the corner. So this one is like, you know, top 4 pixels, right 4 pixels. And it's like a fixed width and height. And some styles like the border and stuff. And then to get the little icons inside of them, I just put a before element on each of them and give it some character. This is kind of like a hacky way to do this. You know, it doesn't look perfect, but I think it looks good enough. And it's a little bit kind of janky because you have to like adjust these little values based on each different one to get the look that you want. But you know, it works. So there's like some Unicode character that looks like an X, and then for the middle, for this one, this button here, I use this character that looks like... Oh, I didn't use a character in that case. In that case, I just made it a box itself, and I gave it a black border. And then for the minimum, for the little minimize button, I think I made it an underscore, yeah. And you can see what I mean. It's kind of weird. Like each of these has all these like weird absolute position values, like -10 pixels, like 1.5. That's kind of weird, but it's okay. And actually this title is also absolute positioned. So that the reason I make them all absolute is so that regardless of how big or small this box gets, you can see that they stay in the same place. So this should be like resizable, this box. It looks quite authentic. Thank you. Yes, I spent a long time trying to get this weird like inset border thing. You see, this is so weird. And I was like, how do you get this inset border thing in CSS? And I knew it must exist because I was like, you know, people used to design stuff like this with CSS. So it obviously exists. It does. It's called border style outset. And then you set like a weird, like, the right and bottom are like a different color than the sides. It's very strange. So that's what the other wrappers are. This window background and border wrapper, these are just to get this weird kind of like double border on the side. Yeah. I think now the issue, by the way, I will probably want to remove the margin from this, because I want to be able to just set my own margin however I want. You know, this actually might be a good place to put some props on this component, because I think depending how each of these is wrapped, I might want to put like some different props on it. For example, I'll want to change the title and stuff, so that might be a good opportunity to add stuff there. And I think I do want a margin, I just want to be able to change it. So maybe for now I'll just set it to 10 pixels to make sure it doesn't, you can just at least see it on the inset. And if I want to change it more, I can do that. I can add a prop to change it later. But for example, let's add a script tag up here. Let's just say export let title. I'm just going to leave it blank, and then it will get replaced. And this is where we want to put the title. So if we go back to our app, we can pass title is I don't know, supercut dot p4. It works. Wonderful. I'm going to move this over here so that I can not have to always go back and forth. So I got the title. What else do I want to change? I need to figure out, I think this width is like that because I think I set the thing to just be like the full width of the screen. Like I don't think I set the width of it to be where did I set that? Yeah, like I never set the width of this, and I actually just want it to occupy the whole width. I wonder if it's doing that because of the top bar, this thing. If I remove that, what will it do? Interesting. Okay, so the width of this that I want it to be should be like 1000, I think, plus a little bit, because I set the width of my YouTube thing inside of it to be 1000, and what I'd like this to do is just to wrap the content and conform to that width. So let me see why this has a larger width. Let me see where that's coming from. Interesting. Okay, so this window inner has a larger width. So this thing just has width of 1000. Why does this thing have a larger width? I wonder if I should set a width on this element, or like a minimum width maybe? What if I explicitly set the width of this? Interesting. So I think it's not here, is not this issue. I think my guess is that the issue is coming from one of the larger boxes. I mean, perhaps the top level wrapper. Okay, so it still wants to occupy like the full width. I really just want it to size to the child. God, I always forget how to do this. Okay, there we go. Inline block. That was what I wanted. So that looks good. What What else did I want to do to this? I wanted to also pass this or wrap this around the histogram component and then maybe style the histogram component a little bit because it still just looks like weirdness right now. So let's say window wrapper title equals timeline.jpg. And inside of this, we'll put our histogram. I don't know why it did that. I don't need a histogram down here. Nice. Now perhaps we can go over to the histogram and edit these styles a little bit. So I don't think we need this padding anymore. Yeah. And I don't know, we might want to set a different background color in there. I'm going to see, I don't really know what I'm going to do about that yet. Season, I'm just going to comment out these background colors because I still want them to be there. Like, I still want them in case I need them for debugging at some point, because that's why these are really helpful. Okay, nice. This is looking good. The papers, yes, okay. This is where the papers need a little bit of work. So, I could do the same kind of thing that I did with the post-its, and maybe that will work well. I could try doing a clip path. These also might end up getting like a background image instead of a clip path. That might be a good idea. Like I could probably make a more, I could probably just make like an icon, even I could make it a little pixelated, and then use that as a background image, but yeah. Okay, Matthias wants clip path, and that's what you get. I will try it. Let's do it. Okay, and this is the part that's going to be hard to figure out. Let me go back to the clip path generator here, and this is how I figure out how to set these values, because like you can see like this is green, and then I mean you probably can't read this on the stream, it's very small, but like down here is where it tells you like what this is. And so if you change this value, it's changing this second one here. And so currently I have it set at 340 pixels. That's going to be absolutely crazy because this thing is only 13 pixels wide. So let me try something like 10 pixels. And then I want to see this one over here. If I move this, it changes this number here. So that's this number here, 80 pixels. Yeah, again, I'm going to set it at like, what, 3 pixels? Because we want this to be square. So we subtracted 3 pixels from the top, 13 to 10, and then we go 3 pixels, or from the left, I mean, and then we go 3 pixels this way. Okay. And now we cross our fingers. I think that worked. I'm going to have to make this bigger. Okay, that worked, but it needs to be more. So like 8 pixels and then 5 pixels. Not bad, not bad. I'm not sure if I can easily get the border to inset. I was kind of hoping it would have like the border would remain there, but I guess that was a doomed hope. Okay, so then I need a little triangle that is going to go in here. And maybe that triangle is going to be my salvation. So to remember how I did that in the post-it, I'm going to copy and paste this over. So we add this before element, and this is going to be a triangle. And you can learn how to make this because you can go to Css Shapes. This is how I did this, is I went here and there's this really good article by Chris that says how to make all the shapes with like before and after pseudo elements. So you can see that they have all these different like triangles, and then this is what I used here, triangle bottom left shape. So you can see they add a border bottom and a border right. And then this 100 pixels is, I think it's like this distance is going to be how much that is. So I don't want a drop shadow on this. No, thank you. I don't know if this is going to work though. It's going to look kind of weird. We'll try it. We'll try it. It's going to look kind of weird though. 6 pixels, 6 pixels, and let's just call this black for now. That didn't work. Okay, there's a good chance I didn't position this properly somehow. Oh, that's not right. Why is it so far over there? Okay, let's switch it back to 6, because I mean 6 is the amount of pixels that I want on this pseudo element, but then we have to figure out why it is not positioned in the right place. Okay, so perhaps I need to let's just try changing this here and see if we can fix this. Oops. Oh no. Please let me edit. Okay. So I think what I need to do is edit the right value now. Oh, that's closer. I suppose it's because I need to have this be 17 pixels. Oh, interesting. Perhaps I just don't want to set this. Let's see what happens if I do that. Okay, that was what I wanted. Nice. So I do actually want a little bit though. 1 pixel. Yeah. Uh-oh. No. It didn't like that at all. Why is this one up here as well? Oh, interesting. It's doing that for all of them. Okay, that's a little bit weird. I wonder how I would move it up and down then if I don't want to move it, move them all to the same spot. Oh, my problem is, I know what my problem is. Yeah, I need position relative. I was just gonna say, we came to the same conclusion at the same time. A classic mistake. Okay, these want to be -1 actually. Pixel pushing is fun. Hey, there we go. So it still probably doesn't look, whoops. I like really zoom in on this a lot. Yeah, I mean, it looks okay actually. It looks more or less aligned. I kind of wanted this to be an outline, but I don't know if that's possible with this CSS Shapes because you're already using a border to construct this shape. So it's like border bottom and border right, or border bottom, border right. So I don't think that you can actually make this like a non-filled shape. I think it has to be a filled shape. Although there's apparently definitely ways to make things. I'm just not knowledgeable enough to do it, unless it's like spelled out for me here. You can make like Facebook icon, you can make this cross, all kinds of stuff. Pretty cool. Huh. Yeah, I mean people make like whole paintings with CSS, so obviously it's possible. I like the Space Invader, this is my favorite one. But yeah, maybe the papers are okay for now. You know, these papers, honestly, they may end up changing anyways because, yeah, that actually looks okay. I don't mind that. Again, I could make it a background image and maybe I will, but for now I'll leave it. But the thing that I thought was interesting is that I haven't decided yet if I'm going to color these papers or not. That was an option. Maybe I will explore doing that. I was going to color them by the error type. So each of these should have an associated error type with it. I think I probably still have this console logged here. Yeah, okay. So, God, this is a crazy array. Yeah, so each of these has an associated data that's called error domain. And there's like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 different possibilities. So one of the options was, do we color the papers according to those error domains? I think it kind of depends how prominent that feature is going to be in the data, or how much we're going to promote that in the story, I suppose. But I was also just looking at my HTML structure here to see how I rendered these, to see where I would put that in. So each quotes nested as season. Okay, so this is where we're doing all this crazy stuff, and then it's like each season as episode. each episode as quote. So this episode is like the full thing. And then the quote is the single one. Quote.lines, then render a div of the class paper. Yeah. One thing we could do is say, we could make the paper a component instead, and then, or we could just give it an inline style. That's an easy thing to do, right? This paper down here, yeah, I mean, it has a background, but like, obviously we could change that. It might be fun. I could try it. I will do that perhaps after I do one more thing. I did want to, before we move on, completely render the background because of the whole page, because I want to just get the image in there so that I can start seeing how it looks visually. So I think I might have a higher quality version somewhere, but in here I have this image which I rendered, and it's like probably not big enough. Let me try just exporting this from Figma as like a larger size and as a JPEG. Let's call this Windows Clouds background. And then I'm going to dump this into the app folder here. I'm going to make a new folder called static. And within static, another new folder called image. I'm going to put that in here. So now I have a static, and I have inside static I have image, and inside image I have this image of the clouds. So in my app, I think I will just put this here, and I will make this I'll make a style for main, and I'll say background image is URL. So it's going to be ... slash static slash image slash underscore clouds probably did this wrong. Hey Pedro, how's it going? Oh, no problem, Matthias. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for solving some of my problems. Yeah, ClipPath is really cool. See you soon. By the way, your data art on the coronavirus thing was like super cool. Beautiful. See you later. All right, I do have to put URL in quotes. I'm still getting a 404 for this. Interesting. Okay. Oh, file paths. This should be .. / right? app.svelte is in src. Is this because like when it's building this, it puts this up here? Yeah, that sounds about right actually. I should probably have static dump images into somewhere else. Actually, what is the best way to do this? Okay, I mean, people say just put your images folder inside of public, so I guess I'll just do that. Seems a little odd to me, but that's okay. Yeah, and then you should just be able to do this. Hey, no 404. Means it worked. Nice. Awesome. So yeah, that's one of the problems with this background, however, is that it's too big. So let me figure out how I need to adjust this for the size. It's probably better to have like a repeating pattern or something. Yeah. I can't say your name, but Ninderhizn says, yeah, they were looking at the same page yesterday. Yeah, I mean, my CSS knowledge is just, it's all just look stuff up. Because like, for example, right now, I'm going to look up background, all this stuff. Yeah, background position, center, background repeat, background size, cover. So I'm going to do background repeat. Let's see if this works. I don't want it to repeat. I think it's going to look weird because it's not a tiled image. I don't have it made, it's not made to be tiled, so it's going to look weird if I do that. Background size, cover. That looks even bigger, worse. Perhaps we need to do contain. Yeah, then it's not going to be the right aspect ratio though. That's kind of annoying. It should be cover. Another option I have is because I exported this at such a huge size, maybe I want to just not do that. But yeah, I exported this at a gigantic size. Let's export it like that. Windows, clouds, VG. Okay, it still looks weird. Oh, it's because it's making it so big because there's all these things down here, which is okay. That's why it's making it like that. I think it'll be okay in the future. And I may have to tile this image somehow. Like I may have to figure out how to make this repeatable so that it can cover any size background and not look weird. But I think right now the reason it's doing this is because it's trying to stretch to fit the whole height, which is really, really big right now. And in the final design, that won't be the case. It's not going to be such a crazy big height. It's just going to be like more normal. Yeah, that's good for that. What else did I want to do? I wanted to go to my histogram. Maybe now is the time to make it maybe now is the time to make it colored. Do the color thing for these in case we want to. I still don't know if we want to, but we could try it. So let me think about this. We're gonna need to have a function that returns a color based on this data property. So that's a scale, a D3 scale. So I'm gonna say like color scale equals D3, because I already have D3 loaded, so this should work, hopefully. Scale ordinal. God, I always forget how to do this every time I have to look it up. Let me just go to my observable and see if I have something that will help me with this. Oh boy. All right, I don't want to do this on stream. Let me instead just look up d3.scale ordinal. Oh, look at that. There's a whole observable notebook on it. Wow. It's ordinal if that set is ordered. Yeah. That looks right. So for this scale, the domain I should get from the data, but I'm gonna not do that instead, and I'm just gonna be bad and like enter this array manually because I know what they are. Non-linguistic. Logical. What else do we have here? Morphological. Syntax, or is it syntactic? Interesting question. Where did I have that file saved? My data. Okay, I called it syntactic. Then we have semantic. I think that's all of them, honestly. There may be a few outliers because I did enter these by hand. So like, I'm not expecting that this will be perfect. I think I still have some of these even listed as like one / the other. So like this will probably break at some point, but maybe this will work for the majority of them. And I think there's a way with D3 or like this scale to give it like a default NA value if it runs up against a problem. So let me also make sure that I have that these are not capitalized in my data, because that's what I'm also kind of worried about. Okay, yeah, semantic. So that's my domain. I want this to be, okay, I want it to be auto like that. And then my range, what colors do I want? Ooh, I wonder if I have something in my Figma file. I know I did make colors at one point. I think I kind of ditched them for this remake, but I did have a color palette. I kind of like the like whole shades of brown thing. But it's not very distinguishable, I suppose. And it kind of gives the feeling of like, what do I mean to say? It gives the feeling of like a sequential palette, which this isn't. I want it to be a categorical. So maybe I'm just going to pull from here. How many do I need? I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of these can be... One of these can probably be white, maybe. Let's call this last one. I think I'm actually going to want to reserve white for something else, but I'll just leave it like that for now and call it a day. I'm still not convinced that I actually did this right, so let's just test if it works at all. So what I wanted to do, I said class is paper, and then I want to say background is color, color scale, quote dot error domain. I suppose I need to put this into style equals interesting. How am I going to do this? How do I do this in Svelte? I forget how to do this in Svelte all of a sudden. I know that I should be able to do this somehow, but I have completely forgotten how to do this. Of course, I could just append this to the data. That would be an easy way to do it. Perhaps that's the best way to do it. Well, I'm going to go ask Matthias how to do this, because he will know much better than I will what the best way to do this is. Matthias is the ultimate Svelte wizard, and it's been an hour and I said I was tired, so I think I'm going to call it a day because I got stuck. But yeah, hopefully next time I will be able to figure out this color scale issue, and maybe I will have a little bit more energy and I can actually oh no, I've created an issue now. What did I do? Okay, there we go. I think I did get this scale created, which I like. Yeah, but the look is really starting to come together. I got this sort of Windows 95 window going, got these post-its going. Next time I'm going to try to do a little bit of layout maybe, because this still isn't the correct layout. And I need to also figure out what to do with the interactivity. So I want it to be so like you click on this and it changes what the active post-it is. I also only think I'm going to show one post-it at a time for the active quote. And then somehow I need to figure out how to hook it all up to the video, which I don't know how that's going to work yet, but there is a way to do it. So I have looked at the YouTube API and it is very possible. I just had to figure out the best Svelte way to do it. So yeah, thank you a lot for stopping by, everybody, and chatting. I will hopefully see you next week. Keep an eye on my Twitter. I will post there any updates. And yeah, see you later. Have a good night.